Ghosties, hello. First up, I missed you guys. Second up, I hope you guys are ready for today's video. I am beyond ready. Today, we have quite the agenda ahead of us. But before I get into what our agenda entails, I got some updates, I got some letdowns, I got some positives. I got a lot to talk about with you guys, so there might be a couple minutes of rambling coming up here before we actually get into what we are doing today. Let's start off with some updates. So I have been on vacation for a week. I know that I mentioned it, but some of you might not know that. So I have been away from the haunt hunting spooky decor game for a week. And yes, it has been extremely painful and difficult for me. So we're just in the beginning of July. Today is July 6th. So it's not like I've missed a whole season worth or something, but I've missed enough to have FOMO. If you guys saw the last spooky stalking video, kind of like a haunt hunting 0.5, like kind of a dabbling into haunt hunting, you'll know that while I have been spooky stalking the stores in the end of June, there has been very little to see. Michael's had just put out their groovy collection. Joann's was just beginning to put out stuff, and At Home has been dry. Not a single spooky thing to be seen. While I've been gone, though, I will say I have in a couple Facebook groups, including an actual Minnesota Halloween decor group, I have seen that At Home has started to put stuff out. Now, I don't know how much stuff, but I know there will be stuff at Home now. Finally, because the person literally posted my local At Home. They didn't have a bunch of pictures. They actually only had one picture, but they said it was beginning. So that's a positive. The downside, the negative, the letdown that we have. So as you guys might know, and I'll make room to put a picture in here, I am dying, literally dying, to get the 70-inch tall Reaper from At Home. That is probably my top of the wish list piece that I want from At Home. So when I saw that my local At Home had stuff, I was like, let's see what's on the website for my local location. Sure enough, the Reaper was on there. It said that it was available for a curbside pickup. So in other words, I could order it, and when I got back, I could pick it up. That was maybe like 3 days ago. So I, of course, instantly placed the order. And within 24 hours, it was canceled. And now I can't find the Reaper on the website. So I don't have the highest hopes for finding the Reaper at Home, at least not at this location, and at least not yet. I assume they at least got one or two in if they were able to kind of sell me one, but I am not going there to pick one up right now, is kind of the disappointing thing. However, there's a bunch of stuff at Home that I am dying to get my hands on, so we will see what they have, and I am so excited to go to At Home and see some of their stuff. The whole like Southern Gothic line that they have of kind of like the cemetery pieces and like cement type dark pieces is right up my freaking alley, and I want so much of it. But otherwise, guys, we have a big agenda today, so let's break it down, shall we? Today, we are officially kicking off haunt hunting. No questions asked. We are all in. It is haunt hunting time. I just got back from vacation like an hour and a half ago, and we are on the road to haunt hunt right now. We unpacked, and then I like took off so fast. On our agenda today, we're going to At Home first because I just can't stand it. I need to go there like now. Then we're gonna check out a HomeGoods. That is the Grand Central Station HomeGoods. If you've been here in the past, you know what I'm talking about. Then we're gonna check Joann and see what Joann has. Last time we went to Joann, there wasn't a ton, but obviously it's been a week. I assume there's quite a bit now. Then on the way home, we're going to yet another HomeGoods, and we're gonna go to a Marshalls. So we have so much in store today. And I feel like I need to be like a wrestling announcer and say, get ready to haunt hunt, because this is gonna be a day of haunt hunting. So I hope you guys are ready. We are diving right into it, and I couldn't be more excited. I hope I didn't miss everything already. I keep feeling like I missed everything, so we'll see. But guys, let's go to At Home, shall we? Since I know that they're gonna have stuff, I am just gonna grab a cart right away because I know that I'm gonna be using it. Sure enough, as I entered through the doors, I could see the display right in the center, and oh, I was excited! So it looks like they have a lot of the larger pieces and also some smaller pieces at the bottom, like this little bullfrog. This seems like a lot of the stuff from the Southern Gothic line, which is my favorite line so far that I've seen online this year from At Home. They had this bat mirror that I know is very popular online. I really like the back jack-o'-lantern to it, but I don't have a use for this mirror, so I didn't pick it up. I'd honestly be more likely to if it was black. There were some loving skeletons and this skeleton with his head that fell off. There was a lot of the vulture lampposts, so if I hadn't gotten that last year, I totally would have picked some up this year. I'm pretty sure they've had this giant skull every year with the little red beady eye lights, but I know for a fact, well at least I think, I haven't seen this skull candle before. It's like a blow mold material, which I do really like, and I've seen that the eyes kind of flicker around on the different skulls. This is really cool, but not exactly the style of blow molds that I usually like. They had the return of the 10-foot skeleton, and of course a bunch of skulls. At Home has their own version of kind of the Joann's skull bat fencing, but theirs is plastic and very cheap, so it's not my favorite. I do prefer the Joann's, even though it's much more expensive. They also had this really cool ceramic, almost like an urn, but obviously it's probably like a cookie jar. They had a large size and a small size. Very heavy duty and very good quality. They also had this bored thinking skeleton. I feel like we've seen him at like every store every year. This bat welcome sign was pretty cool. They had some crocodile skulls too. Up on the top shelf, they had some larger pieces like this Grim Reaper, almost wraith looking guy. And then this stack of skulls with some ravens on it, really cool looking. And they had a raven, almost birdcage looking lantern. I do like this better than their lantern from last year. They had this large Grim Reaper, which is not the one I want, and then a welcome to our haunted house sign. On the other side of this center area, they had some books with some skeleton hands coming out, some lit candles that look like they're melting and have some kind of engraved spider webs to them. They had these coat rack things that look like skeleton hands. These are really cool and they're actually really high quality feeling. There was this pretty heavy duty tombstone. They had this really large, cool clock. Now, I do really like this. It's a really steep price, and I just don't know where I would put it, so I'm not picking it up, but I really do like it. They had their own version of a wraith that's kind of just standing on his own without arms. They had a Grim Reaper hiding behind a tombstone. They had some planters that look like skulls. They had a giant man-eating plant. They had a lit wall-hanging skull that was pretty cool. Almost reminds me of the Joann's Grim Reaper face that I've seen online. They've had this Grim Reaper coming out of a book for quite a few years, and then of course a lot of spooky plants, and a lot of stores have this, the skeletons carrying the coffin. I do love this giant cemetery entrance though, really cool. I love the spiderweb doors. Around the other side, they had a couple more things like this blow mold skull. This was really cool. It reminds me a lot of the 12-foot skeleton head. It lights up in multicolor. It's very hard to see in this video, but it's pretty cool. 50 bucks. They had a Frankenstein skeleton, a lot of them actually. Some gnomes that we're gonna not really pay too much attention to. Some ribbons with skulls that I think we've seen a few years, and then this skeleton who's coming out of the wall. Really cool and really interesting. This would be great for a gallery wall. I'm not gonna say I didn't pick it up. Our first trip of the year to Grand Central Station HomeGoods. It feels so right. First spooky sighting in HomeGoods. There was a whole section in the front, and though it wasn't my favorite kind of stuff, I'm so excited to see it at HomeGoods. There was this stack of skulls with a cat on top, there was this candle holder with skeleton hands, and of course a lot of very large skulls. Another stack of skulls. Skulls were kind of everywhere here. A snake candle holder. This might be the return of the snakes. There was also this kind of bride ghostly skeleton bust. There was the babyish looking vampires that I think we've seen quite a few years. Of course, there were the nutcrackers we see every year. There was this cobra bowl that was very high quality, but again, I'm not into Halloween snakes. In the back, if you can see it, there were a few of those sparkly Halloween cakes. A lot of people have liked those. They're interesting, not something I'd have a use for, but I can appreciate them. Around the other side, there were these books, of course, the storage books that we see every single year. There was also another candle holder that had bats. I would like this more if it wasn't gold, maybe if it was silver or gunmetal black, but it's really cool and very high quality. There were a lot of the books. I've seen one online that I'm going to keep my eyes out for, and it was not here today. There were these little jack-o'-lanterns that I don't really know what they were. Maybe candle holders. They look like they have a hole in the back to put a tea light candle in. And then there were a lot of busts. So there was this large kind of Dracula woman bust with sunglasses on. There was the Bride of Frankenstein that we've seen at Michael's, we've seen at HomeGoods, we've seen kind of everywhere. There was an actual Frankenstein bust. There was a green Bride of Frankenstein bust too, actually a couple of them. I was trying to get the price on this lady, but she was pretty heavy. I think she was $35, $40. Never mind, she's an expensive woman. There were a couple more pieces on this stand as well. A lot of the pink and more kind of childish looking stuff, a lot of cutesy little ghosts, and a lot of the white pieces. There was a Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein dancing figurine. Some fluffy pumpkins, as we always see, and then I've seen this quite a few years, the broom parking kind of ladder. They were clearing out more space though, so I'm assuming more is coming. Of course, I had to peek through the windows, and I do see a bit more sitting on the racks coming out. I did find this witch plate. Every year they have different prints of them, and I'm so happy to see this one. There were, of course, tablecloths, reusable napkins, all that good stuff with all kinds of cool prints. Some I'd seen before, some I hadn't. All the Disney stuff I feel like comes back every single year in plentiful amounts. A lot of different kitchen towels and one Joanna Parker piece, but I'm so happy to already be seeing a Joanna Parker piece this early in the season. In the checkout, there were quite a few sections of Halloween, which kind of surprised me. There were a lot of pillows. I couldn't get a long view because somebody was staring at me. And there may have been a few acquisitions. Guys, I am over the freaking moon! Oh my gosh, it truly
has begun.
I'm so excited! Oh my gosh, I can't believe I've already, in the season, made my first spooky haunt hunting purchase at HomeGoods. I am trying not to scream and look like a weirdo because it's really busy here. I probably looked like such a dork walking out of HomeGoods with this huge toothy grin on my face. I literally looked like a jack-o'-lantern. It was full teeth grinning, and I was smiling from the register to my car, and I probably look like such a weirdo. But anyways, I'm so excited. I'm on such a spooky high right now. So we still have another HomeGoods ahead of us. We have a standalone Marshalls ahead of us, and we have a Joann's ahead of us. And this is not going to be a good day for my wallet, but it's going to be a really good day for my mental health. So we are going to take off now to Joann's, and then we're going to end off with another HomeGoods and Marshalls. I'm I can't even put it into words. I'm freaking elated. I'm so excited. We definitely had a Halloween at this HomeGoods, and I hope we do it the other two. Well, I could tell right away that my Joann Fabrics had more stuff than when I was here before my trip. There was this large haunted house trick-or-treat light-up sign. It seemed like they moved all of the witchy collection to the front. It seems that they're just going to be incorporating that into the Halloween collection instead of kind of clearancing it out and moving it on like Michaels is doing. There were some of the classic Halloween pieces like the melamine plates and melamine large bowls. We've seen a lot of these pieces at the other Joann, so I moved pretty quick through them. I had not seen these metal bat kind of tree decor pieces. They're pretty cool. $50 with 40% off. Still pretty steep for a bunch of wire in my opinion. There were some books, a lot of kind of book shaped pieces, and of course the sewing machines, which makes sense for Joann Fabrics. This book was really cool. I started to imagine all of these themes you could put them in, like some kind of witch coven, put it on a table or on some kind of side table. That'd actually be really cool. The skeleton hand holding a lamp is kind of a classic and a staple that we see almost at every store. There were some ghosts holding up a bowl that kind of go with the group of ghosts holding up the platter plate that of course they did have at this location now too. This was a pretty cool skull stack, kind of like, it could be a kitchen utensil holder, but it also could maybe be like a candle holder. I don't really know. You could use it for a lot of stuff. You could use it like a vase too. There were some black skulls that were very lightweight, and then there were thinking board skeletons again. Like I said, I feel like we see these at every store. Other colors of skulls as well, and then some skull planters. Over in the central section, there were a lot of skeletons doing a lot of different things. One was, of course, on the toilet, as we've seen for, I think, the past 3 years with a laptop. I do like that the skull logo is kind of where an Apple logo would be on an Apple laptop. There was a skeleton bathing. There was a skeleton, I guess, out in Hawaii having a nice drink. These were all about $20. Again, remember you get 40% off. These are not really my style, but here they are. There was this lineup of skeletons too, I guess like brothers, friends, sisters, just dancing along. This was really cool, I will say though. They had the Burlington Ghost, as I like to call it, in Joann now. So they saw the popularity of the Burlington Ghost and they must have stolen the rights to it or something, because now you can get your own from Joann. These spider bowls we've seen every single year. These witch hats on a book, I think we've seen every year with just slight variations. There was a dangly spider at the end. This guy I've never seen before. And something about him reminded me of something from SpongeBob that I can't put my finger on. Like the no arms and the big pointy shoes. It's gotta be something. I can't believe I couldn't think of it. It is SpongeBob Scaredy Pants with his clogs. Duh. This would be really cool for a Halloween Christmas or a spooky Christmas display, this skull LED ceramic tree. This guy was kind of like a blow mold, the skeleton. I'm gonna let you hear what he sounds like, because he kind of made a woman next to me upset for some reason. I'm still loving the Grim Reaper stuff all over the place this year. This is a really cool Grim Reaper bust. Now, I wish it was painted black on the cloak. Obviously, that'd be probably a pretty easy DIY. Then it would be perfect. There was also some Raven on Skull on book figures, kind of Edgar Allan Poe-esque. There were some skeleton cats. This skeleton who was very excited about his black jack-o'-lantern. There was a stack of skulls. There was a gray stack of skulls. This was quite a cool coffin shelf. It was quite large and it was really good quality, so if you were looking for one, this is a really good classic, pretty simple one that you could pick up. There were more melamine dishware as well. Clearly they haven't organized this section too well yet, which I understand they're kind of just getting it out. There's a lot of the X-ray stuff this year. Obviously that's going to be one of their lines. And then there's some kind of triple pumpkins that they're going to have. This was their mirror for the year. I think we saw it at the other Joann's. Peep my little ghost tattoo looking at you in the mirror. This was a really cool haunted house photo. This would be really, really cool on a wall in some kind of theme. I feel like it'd fit in a lot of different themes. Joann also had their own clock, a lot smaller, but I still don't know what I would do with it. And then this urn cookie jar is literally identical, besides the raven, to the one at home. So strange how that works. Okay, I just have to say this. They have a bony ass. Usually they have these garden spinning pinwheels, but they usually just have, I believe, a ghost one and maybe a witch's feet one, but I've never seen the spider one that you do have to put together yourself, it looks like. It's pretty cool, but I am so against glitter that I was not going to get that. Same goes for this witch one. Really cool again. A little crowded, but I did like it. I like the motif of the witch. This one I think I've seen here quite a few years. There were some more pillows I hadn't seen, like this literally dead bat coffin one. There was this haunted one that I did like the font of, pretty cool. On the other side, there were actually more of the outdoor pinwheel spinners. This one was a jack-o'-lantern one. I thought this pillow would be great for all year-round use. I love hook loop pillows, like I've said before. This spiderweb one was very soft, almost like a blanket. The knit was so nice. Otherwise, I think we'd seen basically all these pillows before. Here was their bat mirror for the year. I think this is the exact same one as last year. There are my knees again, sorry. Otherwise, this section was decently bare. I had screenshotted this into my little screenshot wish list, this skull wreath, but in person, it's really, really flimsy, which is such a bummer. I'll have to think about it more. I'm not saying I won't pick it up, but I definitely didn't today. It let me down with how the quality felt. There was this coffin-shaped skeleton X-ray situation that did light up, and I was kind of hoping it'd fully light up like the skeleton, almost like it was being actively X-rayed, but the edges lit up, which I thought was kind of a missed opportunity. It looked kind of cheap. There were all these skulls and door knockers that we've seen many years, a lot of the signs and wall decor that we've seen many years. And then there were the ornaments, which a lot of them were the same as last year. I think every single one that my Joann had out is the same as last year, though I know they have some coming out that are new. Well, ghouls and ghosties, we are now at, can I get it? My local HomeGoods and my local Marshalls right behind me, and we're gonna head in. I think I'm gonna do Marshalls first because I'm more excited for HomeGoods. I will say, the Halloween hate is alive and well this year. 2 years ago, I feel like I had issues with hearing a lot of Halloween hate out and about. People saying like, oh, it's so early and I don't want to see this and all that type of stuff. Last year seemed very positive. There was a lot of people being like, oh, it's so good to see it already. Oh, I can't wait, blah, blah, blah. We're back on a hate train apparently because I've heard 2 or 3 ladies directly complain to me. Okay, so since I mute the videos, you wouldn't hear it. But in Joann, where we just were, a lady went, wow, as I was filming Halloween stuff. And she's like, I just can't believe I'm seeing all this, like very negatively. So that's great. That's awesome. Whatever. At least I'm scoring some stuff. Okay. So I'm still keeping my spirits high, but I'm hoping to not hear any more Halloween hate today. So let's go to Marshalls and then we'll go to HomeGoods. First thing I saw was this little pink ghost with a witch's hat, or else nothing in this aisle. And then over in the pillows, there was one of these skull fuzzy back pillows. We already have 2 of these, so I definitely don't need another. I was kind of struggling looking for the price on these, just in case someone wants to know if they've changed in price this year. I don't really remember what they were before, but I think they're the same price that they were at $30. On to HomeGoods with us. Ghouls and Ghosties, I was excited because right when I walked in, I saw a Halloween display by the checkout. So the Grumpy Pumpkins are back. Basically, all of this stuff was repeats from past years or stuff that was just very basic, so I didn't spend too much time on any of this stuff. Around the corner were a lot of things that I, again, think are duplicates from past years, and even the Squidward mushroom has returned from last year. Otherwise, there were more books, more skulls, and everything like that. Over in another aisle, there were some terracotta jack-o'-lanterns, nothing near the quality of Pottery Barn, even though, of course, nothing near the price either. This was really interesting. It's a book with some rotting, kind of moldy skulls with mushrooms on it. I've never seen something like this, and it's always cool to see something that you've never seen before. There were some full-size, like 6-foot or 5-foot skeletons, including a pumpkin head one. And there was an end stand behind me with more busts, some that I hadn't seen at the other HomeGoods, and this giant haunted house that I have seen in past years. A lot of snake stuff again, so obviously the snakes are coming back. I've seen these witches before at HomeGoods too, and then this was the bust I hadn't seen. She's just some like gothic lady. She's actually really cool. I don't have a use or place for her, but she's very unique, I will say. This was a really nice gold spider bowl, really high quality. Another thing I don't have a use for, but I appreciate the quality behind it. Frankenstein bust was at this location too. There was one more end stand that I could see from where I was standing, full of Halloween stuff. I love whoever put this skeleton on this grass. There was this wraith-looking guy coming out of the wall. Unfortunately, when I was holding him, I realized he's actually busted already, which is really sad. I bet he just got put out, probably today or within the past couple days. There were some hangable witch hats, which you could just buy the cheap witch hats and put them up yourself. There was another board skeleton, so 3rd board skeleton of the video. This location, of course, had some tablecloths and napkins too. And they had a ton of blankets at this location. There was this cat with stars, there were all kinds of different candy corn blankets, and all kinds of different ghost blankets. Clearly they are leaning into the ones that have been popular throughout the years. There are also these ones that look like Fair Isle sweaters, which is kind of a thing that Pottery Barn's doing, so I don't know if that's what they're based off of. There were these cute ghosts doing all kinds of fall activities. If this wasn't pink, I'd maybe consider getting it. There was a lot of the pink and pastel and purple pieces. Hello, ghouls and ghosties, and welcome to the 8th of July. So today, I just got done at the gym, so if I look a little like laminated or whatever, it's because I just got done working out, and it's hot. But today we got some haunt hunting to do. I do have some work to get done today, so for me the haunt hunting is going to be kind of like segmented, but for you guys obviously it's going to be all in a row. First up, because it's close to my gym, I'm going to go to the quieter, smaller Joann Fabrics location. Now this is the one that we first spotted Halloween at this year. Actually, this is the first place in the world that I spotted Halloween at this year. So we're returning to home base right now first. Then after I'm done with like the little bit of work I'm gonna be doing, I will be near at least one HomeGoods that I haven't been to yet, and I'll be kind of close to another HomeGoods that's also close to a Marshalls. So we'll see where we end up. We'll see where like the moon leads us, basically, because like I don't exactly know all the places I'm going at. I do know that I'm going to quite a few places. I also know for a fact that I would like to get back to at home, y'all. I don't want to say we're having like a repeat of the Raven lamppost of last year, but I'm getting the same like negatively nostalgic feeling. Is there such a thing? I feel like nostalgia is a positive thing. Is there like a negative nostalgia? Like dread, like past dread? Or is it trauma? Is trauma literally negative nostalgia? I don't know. Okay, anyways, that's a really weird topic. I'm having like a negative nostalgic feeling of the Raven lamppost search with this giant Reaper, because once again, like the Reaper is removed from all the websites. I'm already not seeing the Reaper in anyone's pictures that they're posting online, which is what happened with the Raven. Like there was an initial very tiny shipment to my area. They disappeared before they even hit the floor, and then they were gone for good. And I just feel like the same thing is happening. I still need that freaking Reaper, so I am hoping that sometime, somewhere, somehow I can get one. I have now found out that there actually are 3 at homes in my state, and when I say state, I mean state, not my area, definitely in my state, because the other 2 are over an hour away. But if that Reaper was there and I was guaranteed to get it, like if I could do a curbside pickup, I'd make the journey for it. So we will see where the moon leads us in our spooky journey throughout the season and throughout today. But I just know we're doing quite a bit of haunt hunting today, and I hope you guys are excited. It feels so good to be in haunt hunting season, guys. Like my spirits have been lifted. My spirits are lifted from the grave lately. So my thing is, okay, this last tiny little point I'm gonna make, and then we'll get to the shopping. Something I do for like my spooky wish list is on the groups and stuff, I will zoom in to the item in people's pictures and just screenshot it. So I can go to my screenshots folder on my phone and basically see my entire wish list. And then I just delete the picture once I do actually find it. It has been filling up. I've been taking a lot of screenshots lately. My screenshots folder has like added a lot of pictures. How do you guys keep your wish list? Do you just make like a notes list? Do you take screenshots? Some people literally like write and draw theirs out almost like a journal. Just let me know. I'd be interested. I'm just pulling up to Joann. I don't see anyone here. So if they're not open, we might have to come later. Well, according to their website, they're open, but according to the sliding front doors that aren't moving at all, they're not open. So I guess we'll save this Joann Fabrics for either Wednesday, because I'll be in the area again, or later if I end up over here. I don't know, but that's a bummer. I gotta do my like work without the serotonin burst of seeing spooky stuff. So I'm gonna get to plugging away at some work, and then we will continue our haunt hunting. Well, ghouls and ghosties, it is now about 1:15 p.m. and we are gonna head towards a HomeGoods. So far, the 2 HomeGoods we've looked at have had like a surprising amount, like more than I expected. So I'm pumped. So let's go. I'm gonna try not to speed. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna speed. I never speed. If anything, I drive like slow. This was the only section of Halloween in this entire HomeGoods. Obviously they have room to be adding stuff soon, but otherwise it was a lot of busts we've already seen, nutcrackers, and some little kiddish ghosts. Well, that was extremely disappointing. I am at a Michael's now, as you can see right here. It's in the same parking lot. We'll just see if there's something new in here. Otherwise, I do think I'm gonna go to a HomeGoods that's kind of like a couple cities over. Possibly I'm gonna look up the route. We still don't really have a set in stone plan. Of course, Michaels had all of the central section together. I think all Michaels do at this point now. And all of Spooky Town was up, which is pretty cool to see some of the pieces. I still haven't decided yet if I'm gonna get any pieces, and if I do, what they're gonna be. I just haven't looked enough because I'm more kind of in the mode of looking for actual Halloween decor for now. They do now have all of the foliage type pieces and wreath making stuff. So there's, of course, candy corn, pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, skeleton hands, all that stuff that we see every single year. I don't really know if any of this is new or if it's old. A lot of it is probably repeats. There were a lot of planters this year, a giant snake one, as you can see. They had this heart-shaped one. They had a return of this skull and ribcage one. The hanging skulls were back and much more plentiful than last year. This skull planter looked a lot like the ones at Joann's, but I like the Joann one much more. This was also a really cool bird cage with bats all over it. I have no clue what I would use it for, so I didn't get it, but it's really cool. New this year, they had these small light-up haunted houses and haunted tree pieces. I don't really know what you use these for. Maybe kind of for their own version of a spooky town. I don't really know. They also have a bunch of little pieces. Now, my favorite part about all of these little decor pieces that you probably could use in a dollhouse is that they actually have small versions of their own decor they sell. Ignore the gnome. But I'll show you a couple examples here in a second. For example, this cauldron they sell every year at Michael's, the exact same style and pattern on it. This was probably the coolest piece, this tarot table. It's really detailed and really cool. I think every year they sell a large size of this kind of bridal bust. I could get a mini coffin bookshelf for my large coffin bookshelf. Of course, a toilet skeleton, even in micro version. A lot more pieces for the wreaths. I'm not going to go through every single thing because they're all just kind of the same that we see each year, though I will say this wreath hanger is really cool. It's a witch's hand, and it is so detailed, so high quality, and so well painted, which is not something I often say about Michael's, so props to them for that. At the next HomeGoods, it was kind of a stressful drive. We went on all the highways that I despise. But I did figure out the schedule for the rest of today's haunt hunting. We're actually going to go to a Joann Fabrics that we haven't even been to yet in this city. It's bigger, but it's older, so I don't know what to expect there. And then we are going to go to a standalone Marshalls in this city as well. And then on my way home, we're stopping at home. Deal? Deal. As soon as I walked into this HomeGoods, I could once again see another stand of Halloween like at the other ones. There were these little ghosts holding pumpkins. There were these wooden ghost pieces. There was this really cute jack-o'-lantern kind of hotel house that lights up. Only $10. I think that's a pretty good deal. Of course, a bunch of skulls, of course, a bunch of pumpkins, and giant lollipops, I guess. A few blankets at this location too, but I feel like we've either seen them before at the other one or we've seen them in past years. My favorite thing I saw at this location was this ghost picture frame dish towel. This is so freaking cute. At some point I'll have to pick these up. A few new things right away at this Joann right when I walked in. They have their groundbreaking skeleton out at the front. They also have these giant neon signs. I will say I was tempted to get this skull one, but I have a lot of yard stuff, so I would like to think about it a bit more. They also had a black cat and a ghost neon sign too. These are really cool as well. You get a pair of zombie hand neon signs. I was kind of tempted with that one as well. There was this really cute bat blanket that I don't think I've seen yet. A couple coffins that were kind of that foam lightweight material. This was a really cool skeleton bust that had a crow on his shoulder. I love this almost fiery orange light in the chest. Perfect color. This was really cool too. It's a haunted house small figurine, but it's kind of on a cliff. I just love the look of it. I've seen this crow with the broken open chest before, never a fan of that, and the DJing skeleton is probably not going into my cart. Lots of pillows, a few we haven't seen, like this bat pillow, but not the best quality, so I'll pass. They were ready to unload a lot of Halloween though. All these boxes said Halloween on them. At this Marshalls, there was only this one end stand, and my standout piece was probably this giant jack-o'-lantern face candy corn for $35. Otherwise, there was this tree I'd never seen that's kind of a candle holder. Pretty cool, but not something that I would need. As I was headed to Trader Joe's next door, I saw something on the door of the next door building. Spirit Halloween is coming. Small change of plans, but it's a good thing. We're actually at the Grand Central Station HomeGoods again, just because it's buy at home, and it has been 2 days, so they're probably full of Halloween, right? No, probably not. I think I'm realizing that the HomeGoods and Marshalls and stuff companies, it's just a little early to go, which doesn't mean I'm not gonna be going, and I'm glad I am, seeing what they have, but I'll probably space out my trips to like the farther away ones a little bit, just because like there is hardly anything in these places. This one seems promising though, so that's why I'm back here already. Then we'll go to At Home. We're gonna give them all the time that they can to unpack a truckload of Grim Reapers, hopefully. Strangely enough, the whole front section is now not Halloween. I assume they moved it somewhere. Yes, they did. There is a different section of Halloween now. It seems to be a lot of the same stuff, but they've moved it kind of to a more central location. I have never actually in person seen these giant plush pillow skeletons. They are huge, and I just would not have room for them. There was also this set of 3 ghosts, kind of like a ghost family. Basically everything I was seeing, I had either seen when I came here last, or I had seen at a different location, but I will say, all of the witch plates were gone, and when I was here before there were 8, and I only bought 1. There were these new bake pans though, that are really cute. I have a lot of spooky bakeware, so I don't need them, but they're adorable. Here is a slightly better look at the checkout section that I rushed through last time. It was really just a lot of books and a lot of pieces that once again we have seen at other stores. There was this skeleton hand with a bunch of rings that was kind of cool, and there was a bust in the back of the Headless Horseman. Really cool. At home, had literally all the exact same stuff. If anything, it was missing some things, probably because people bought them. Alright, so there is nothing new at home, just less stuff, which is not surprising because people are buying things. But I met this woman named Katie who is like a total Halloweenie like me, and we literally gushed and talked about Halloween decorating and Halloween shopping and all the Halloween groups and all the Halloween decor that we have for like 15 or 20 minutes. So that was like a big spirit lifter. That was really fun. Her and I agreed on everything, and we like have all these like similar pieces, and like she has a 12-foot mummy and she has a 12-foot skeleton. So that was really fun. Now I'm friends with her on Facebook, and I'm gonna invite her to all the like Facebook groups that I'm in, and she's gonna do the same for me. I think I'm done for the day. It was not a Halloween. I would say it was honestly quite a strikeout. Saw a couple new Joann pieces, and I feel like that's about it. I mean, we saw where Spirit Halloween's gonna go in. I don't think that I'm gonna have one within 15 minutes of me this year, and I don't think I kind of ever will again, it seems like. But the Mall of America will get one kind of like last year, and then the one that we just saw is like 20 minutes away, so it's not too bad. Anyways, that's all for today, ghosties and ghouls. Let's move on to the next day, shall we? Well, ghouls and ghosties, it is the next day now. It is the 9th of July, and I am ready to do some more haunt hunting at some new locations. Well, not only new ones, but I'm in my Carrie shirt and I'm feeling spooky and I'm ready to go. This morning, I need to run to Target, which if you've been here in the past, you might already know that my Target is right by my city's HomeGoods and standalone Marshalls. So of course, I'm not just gonna go to Target and not step into Marshalls and HomeGoods. I'm going there this morning, and then later tonight, we are having our date night and going to this delicious like Korean and Japanese food restaurant. And it is in a city that I haven't been to yet this haunt hunting season that has a TJ Maxx standalone, and it has a HomeGoods Marshalls combo. We're gonna go to both of those. I'm super pumped. I've seen this thing at a TJ's in someone's YouTube video that I really want. It's like this really, really cute hanging wicker bat. It's basically kind of a dupe for Pottery Barn, and honestly even more, it's a dupe for Anthropology wicker bats, and it is honestly nicer in my opinion and cooler looking than the Anthro ones, so I'm really excited and I really want to find them. I've only seen people show that they're at TJ's. We're so early in the season, they definitely could show up at HomeGoods and stuff too, so we'll see, but that has definitely been added to my wish list. That's kind of why TJ's is in my head, but I'm excited for the day. I have good vibes and good feelings, so let's get started on our haunt hunting for the 9th of July. Done with Target, and we're gonna hit Marshalls first and then HomeGoods. Marshalls was a complete strikeout, but there were some colorful candy corn pillows at HomeGoods and this pink skull. There were also a few tabletop pieces like this snow globe sewing kit jack-o'-lantern and a couple new Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein figures. Alrighty, ghouls and ghosties.
Hello, everybody.
So this is the last couple stops, the last 2 stops for this haunt hunt episode. Not that the week of haunt hunting is over, but as you can see by the time that's like down here, we're already at like 50 minutes of footage right now.
It's been a long time.
So it's exciting stops though, and we have an exciting special guest.
It's me!
My husband.
Hi!
So,
How are you?
So we're going to a standalone TJ Maxx first that we are parked at right now. I usually don't get here super frequently because it's like a little bit of ways. Then we're gonna go to a HomeGoods Marshalls like combo store. So we haven't been to either of these at all yet this year. Obviously there's not like a ton of Halloween at any of these yet, but fingers crossed that the little bit that is out is the good stuff. Every time Ryan is in his first haunt hunt video for the year, he goes dun 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 dun.
Hey man, I know the gig.
I know the jingle.
I know what's up.
Oh, you're on cinematic mode. Doesn't Ryan look like a movie star?
I want to be a movie star.
Well, I wasn't seeing too much in the TJ Maxx, though I did spot this crow sitting on a skull candy dish. I thought it was a planter at first, but I'm pretty sure it's a candy dish. They also had another one of these skull back pillows. They actually had two, same price here. It seems like these are much easier to find this year. Of course, also there were some spooky soaps too. After TJ's, of course, we went to HomeGoods. This HomeGoods did have a couple end stands of Halloween. They were quite sparse, but there were some things. The only things I think that were new were these kind of wicker witch hats. They did have a few tablecloths. Most of these were ones we've already seen this year, and this one actually matched a blanket from last year. It's kind of a witch shelf situation. And then there were some table runners too. Alrighty, ghouls and ghosties, that's actually where we are ending this week's haunt hunt, but do not fret. There is another haunt hunt coming next week, and this one is good. Of course, I've already lived half of it because I've been filming it, and I already have some freaking Halloweens, some scores, and I'll just tell you, some of the stores that I've been waiting for are finally putting a lot of stuff out. Okay, that's all the hint I'm gonna give you guys. But anyways, I hope you liked this haunt hunt. Of course, as per usual, let me know below and let me know the stuff you've been picking up lately and get excited for next week. I'm so pumped already. So I will see you next week, ghouls and ghosties. Goodbye.